Hey guys, John here. So, Toyota fanboy, checking out the Chevy Colorado ZR2. The price, pretty good on this one. So, of course, it is a blue color. It caught my eye, kind of like a blurple look, but Chevy Colorado ZR2 2025 with the Turbo Max, we are sitting at $54,000, which actually makes it a little bit cheaper than a Tacoma TRD off-road premium if you were to elect to get the iForce Max engine. So this is definitely a competitor to it, but let's go ahead, take a look at the outside, and then we're gonna go on into the inside. So I do like the looks of the Colorado a bit more than the Silverado brother. So we have some Goodyear Wrangler tires. We have a nice skid plate up front, very big recovery hooks there too. We have the Multimatic suspension, which in my opinion, from everything that I've seen on this truck, is a bit better than the Bilstein setup that Toyota uses. You also have some integrated rock rails, it looks like. This color is so freaking sick. But ZR2 on the back right there, nice little bumper on the back, which is a gloss black look. Not really that much plastic on the outside of this, except for those bigger over fenders, just like the Tacoma also has. We'll go ahead and go up on into the inside of this one. Let me know what you guys think. Kind of like a little pearl too in this with the metallic. But the inside, compared to a TRD off-road premium, we have plastic up here, just like the Tacoma, but we actually have some soft touch right here, whereas the Tacoma has plastic, and then more soft touch materials right here on the door. But it gets better on the Colorado, because we actually have some soft touch materials right here around the vent, and also over there on the dash. It has a Bose sound system, which is comparable to Toyota's JBL. We also have a nice moonroof on this, black headliner. Kind of bigger screens on this too, so not as big as the 14-inch screen, at least it doesn't look like. We have a fully digital screen right here. Piano black, not the biggest fan. You can already see all the scratches in this, but it has an auto four-wheel drive system, which is cool. 2 high, 4 low. The nice thing though about this is that we're gonna get a rear locker and also a front locker as well, whereas on the Tacoma you can only get a front sway bar disconnect, and those are very rare to find. So Chevy is kind of beating the Tacoma in that regard. For the seats too, we have heated and ventilated, just like you would get in the TRD off-road. And then all of our fan stuff right here, it looks like we also have dual climate control. But one thing too about this truck is a lot of our stuff is integrated into the screen, which some people don't really like. A point for the Tacoma though is we do have some storage right up here with the shelf. It doesn't seem like we have that on this ZR2, but it does look like a nice dash. Cup holders in kind of the same spot. The Tacoma, you get a little bit more storage up here. You also have a grab handle and some MOLLE panels on the inside to attach stuff to, but we do have a wireless charger right there and kind of the same sort of smaller center console. Let's go see how the back is now on this when compared to the Taco. The seat does move forward, so let me get in my driving position on this truck where I'd be at. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get to my driving position. Maybe a little too close. All right, so that's gonna be my driving position, and then I'll go ahead and sit in the back behind myself, 5'1" again. Soft touch materials right here, man, where the Tacoma does not have any on the back door. None of this is soft touch on the Tacoma, all freaking plastic. But we don't have a grab handle right here to get in, so I'll just use the door, climb on in, and this seems the same as the Tacoma. Maybe a little bit less. All right, actually, we have a Tacoma Trail Hunter here, so this is about my driving position, and I know that based on the B pillar, so we'll sit behind myself in this compared to the Colorado. Nice grab handle right here. That doesn't seem like it's ripping the roof off. And yep, my knees just barely graze it. So Tacoma and Colorado seem to have the same rear seat space. However, I feel like I'm sitting up a lot higher in the back of the Tacoma versus the Colorado, but no rear AC vents back here. But you can see here on the door, plastic, which the Colorado had, soft touch here, but this is a Trail Hunter versus the TRD off-road, which does not have this right here. So this would just be plastic in that, unfortunately. This feels pretty much the same as the Tacoma, with my knees just barely grazing. The one thing though that this does have that the Tacoma does not is vents back here for the rear occupants. So again, that's a win for Chevy. Okay, my wife just said a grab handle's right here, but this is the stupidest grab handle to get into a truck. Why would you want to grab there? Do you hear that? Yeah, I'm gonna rip the roof off. I'm not using that as a grab handle. And then it looks like we have storage under the seats. There's this little lever right here, and then the seats will act, and then the seats actually hold themselves up, whereas Tacoma has kind of a lame little latch that you have to pin there, kind of cheap in my opinion. But one thing that's cool is on the back of this, so this is a manual tailgate, whereas if you got the Tacoma Premium, you would have a fully automatic tailgate, but it will go ahead and dampen down. Now the cool thing about the Colorado tailgate is if you unlock those right there, you get like this additional storage right here, and I believe this is a drain plug right there, so you could put some drinks in there, something like that. But you have a very cool kind of, well, I don't know how this thing locks. There we go. So now that's locked, but no real storage back here because it is a full bed, bit bigger than the Tacoma because the Tacoma is a composite bed, but you still do have an outlet right here, not as high wattage as if you were to get the hybrid version of the Tacoma. And again, manual tailgate, nice and lightweight, so some people like that. Others, I mean, if you're paying that premium, then I would rather have this. One thing too, I don't know if this had a full 360 camera view, and it does not. Oh, it does. So we do have the lights there. So it does still also have the full 360 camera view. So for the money, which one would you guys get? A Colorado or the Tacoma? I appreciate y'all watching, and I will catch you in the next one. All right, see you later.